guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Being Simone Iman, and I am Simone, and I want to do a what to watch for you guys. I haven't done one in a while. I really don't have to tell y'all to watch this though, because everybody and their mama is watching, and it's well worth it. I want to talk to you guys today about P-Valley. Look, urban dramas are the wave. Like, I love a good urban drama, and P-Valley is an urban drama that comes on Starz. The first season is actually over, but 2 episodes into their second season, they got picked first season they got picked up for a second season. That's how good it is. So after episode 2, this go around, Starz was like, order them up, and I live. But there are a few things specifically that I wanted to talk about in P-Valley, not just suggesting that you watch it, because I think that's a given, right? We'll get into it. So let's set the premise. P-Valley is a TV adaptation of what was originally a stage play. Katori Hall is the writer, creator, director of P-Valley, Pussy Valley, the stage play, and it's set like down in the deltas of Mississippi, in Chucalissa, Mississippi, and it is a series about the lives of all the players, the men, the women who work at a strip club. It's called the PANK, okay? The pink, but the PANK in their vernacular. The club is owned by Uncle Clifford, who is like a gender fluid, non-binary gentleman. I don't even know if that goes together, gender fluid, non-binary, but then call him a gentleman. I think perception is that he's a man who's dressing up like a woman, but he still has like all of his facial hair and stuff like that. He has a very domineering appearance because he's extremely tall and he's like thick, but then also he steals our hearts because he's so endearing and on it, and he's just the perfect person to own an establishment like the PANK. Anyway, Uncle Clifford is the owner and also damn near the house mom, and there are many different players within the club. There are, you know, the dancers, there's the bouncers, there's the patrons, and each week we get to learn more and more about their stories. The biggest chunk of the plot is about the dancers and what they're going through. The OG, who's played by Brandy Evans, her name is Mercedes, and Mercedes is like the headliner of the club. A really good dancer, really strong. Like, there are scenes with her in the beginning of, I think, episode 2. She's like running her dog. She has a pit bull and she's running him on a chain, but she's like sprinting, like in shape, like goals, okay? But her story is, you know, she's been doing it. She's danced all these years and she's over it. She's like, my next step. She has a dance team similar to like the Dancing Doll style dance teams, and she wants to retire to that. She wants to purchase a gym and give dance lessons and things like that. And it's almost in her grasp, except she's been laundering her money or washing her money through the church, through her mother. Her mother is a classic over-the-top church woman who ain't really a church woman, or who ain't all, let's say she ain't always been saved. And ultimately she ends up getting signs from God, and she steals all of Mercedes' money and purchases the exact building Mercedes was going to purchase for her gym for a church. And the way that unfolds is incredible, but it says a lot about like that whole mother-daughter relationship, especially in the Black community. It can be toxic as hell, and they have a toxic relationship. It seems as if her mom had used her as a tool or a means to make money when she was a young woman. That's why she doesn't have a filter for sexuality or sex. From what I gather, her mom was like pimping her. Child. And now she in the church, in the pulpit. Her mom is dying for acceptance in this church though. And you know, they have a very old school way of thinking at the church that she belongs to. Like, women don't belong in the pulpit, and they want to keep her in her place. And she's like, God gave her a sign that she deserved her own church, or she needed her own church, and she steals her daughter's money to get it. They even come to physical blows and end up going to jail together. And in that scene, Mercedes tells her mom, Patrice Woodbine, she tells her that she's dead to her because she's just so hurt by what her mom did to her. And like, I get it. Like, that's some hurtful shit. Like, it was, I think, like $10,000. How you steal $10,000? Still $100. How you steal $10,000? Like, girl, too much. Huh? Like, how do you steal $10,000 from your child? But then also we learn a lot about Mercedes' story. She seems to have had a child with a married man, and her daughter is actually on her dance team, but she doesn't have custody of the child. The child is actually being raised by her baby's father's wife, which is just like, look, and it took a few episodes to understand that whole plot of that story. But he's passed away, it seems, and Mercedes probably just wasn't in a space to raise a child, and so the girl is staying with her baby's father's wife, and they all know, it's no secret, she has a good relationship with the girl. The girl is a little rebellious though, and is also, you could tell, very hurt and upset with Mercedes because she isn't being raised by her mom. And it sounds like that's a promise that Mercedes had been making to her, like, when I get my stuff together, I'm gonna come get you. But her story overall is really impactful, and it gives, I heard Funky Dineva say this about the episodes he was reviewing, it gives humanness to sex workers and dancers and people who work in clubs, you know, not just the dancers, but like the bartenders and the bouncers and the club owners. Like, it gives them a humanness that we really don't see on the outside or as patrons of those establishments or at any other depiction of them on TV or film. Like, it really goes deep into their lives. There's also another dancer who comes to the club. She's not from Chucalissa. She shows up and she does an amateur night, and she ends up getting hired, but she's fleeing a hurricane. They're calling it Hurricane Drake. This is the character Autumn, or Haley. She's running from something, you can tell. She's living in like a trap apartment with a mattress on the floor. The little car she's driving, well, not the little bitch, the big car she's driving is horrible. It's all rusted over, but she has access to like thousands of dollars, and she's doing transactions like money laundering or wiring money or whatever, but she's washing it through her money at the club. Like, that's how she's making it look legit. And for the most part, she has a lot of friction with Mercedes throughout most of the season, because she's the OG and she's the new girl, and there might be a little colorism friction in there because the OG Mercedes is like darker tone, and Haley, the light-skinned Autumn, is light-skinned. So you get a little sense of that because they make reference to like little light-skinned bitch and stuff like that. But her story is compelling. It seems as though her child passed away in the floods of the hurricane, and she just has a lot of trauma and drama surrounding her, but she's super secretive. Now, she's also in a relationship with a man who is another part of the bigger plot. The strip club, the PANK, is on property, and the property is going to be across the street from a casino. And that land is owned by a family, a white family in the community, and it's a cotton field. The family owns it. They want to sell it to the casino developers, and it's like millions of dollars at stake, except there's a stepchild, a red-headed but really nappy-headed stepchild, because the actual owner, who has since passed, had an outside child with a black woman. So there are two white sons and then the black son, and they all own the property. The two white sons want to sell the property. The black son wants to lease the property. So there's a bunch of drama surrounding that. In Autumn, the dancer, is in relationship with a real estate broker who is garnering that deal. So Uncle Clifford gets word that they're going to build a casino across the street for him, which will bring in so much business for him. And Autumn shares this information with him as a bargaining tool for her being able to stay at the club without the credentials. Like, she's dancing with no driver's license, no ID. Like, he doesn't know who she is. He don't even know she of age to be dancing in the club, you know. But she uses that information to buy her time with him so that she can stay in the club. And she's getting inside information because she's in relationship with the real estate broker who is doing the deal. His name is Andre. Her story comes to a close, or comes to a head, when the boyfriend or husband that she's running from, because she's been running, it seems like she's having flashbacks of domestic abuse and flashbacks of what happened to her child in the flood, and he finds her. And but her story is very compelling, and there's a lot of references of Houston. If you guys don't know, watching me, I live in Houston, so the hurricane is like, you know, it's something we all can relate to living down here in the Gulf Coast, because hurricane season is very real. Okay, we just had one, and it's another one maybe coming. And let's talk about Uncle Clifford again. Uncle Clifford finds himself in relationship with Lil Murder. This is a highly discussed topic in all the forums and boards and groups surrounded around P Valley. Lil Murder is a cis-identifying, straight, heterosexual presenting young man who's an aspiring rapper. And in Southern culture, most of the biggest artists are like debut, they make their break or their way in the strip clubs. Like, they get the best dancer to dance to their songs, and this is how they pop. Like, it's just the math behind it. And so Lil Murder is trying to break his song with the DJ who works there, which is actually a high school student. It's hilarious. And also Uncle Clifford, and they just keep telling him he sucks. So eventually he comes up with a song that don't suck. Should I use the word suck? Anyway, and he and Lil Murder and Uncle Clifford have always been a little flirty, but you don't know if it's something that Murder is just doing to get into the, you know, get his music played, or if he's actually into men. Honey, we soon find out that he's actually into men. And I want to talk about this because this is this is near to my heart. I am a cis-identifying heterosexual woman. Okay, I've always been heterosexual. I've never dipped my foot in a lady pond. But I have a lot of compassion for the LGBTQI+ community. I think I missed a letter. Anyway, toxic masculinity is a thing, especially in the Black culture. And we see it so much when people comment about it on Facebook or whatever other social media. Lil Murder, he gay. Ain't no way he can. First of all, he's acting, and he's a very good actor. But besides that, let's not talk about J. Alphonse, because that's the actor's name. Let's talk about Lil Murder. Why does Lil Murder not feel like he's able to admit who he is or come out per se? We malign these young men into thinking that there is one way to be a man. You have to be aggressive. You have to be hard. You have to work your fingers to the bone. You can't show any emotion. Violence is a connection that a lot of people make in the urban communities when it comes to being a strong Black man. And not saying you just recklessly violent, but even in defending family or friends or yourself, like every time something happens, you gotta call. I've seen so many stories of young Black men getting killed because they're trying to protect other people. You know, that is something that we, you know, put on them, and if they don't do it, then they're less of a man, right? And it's toxic. And so there's a reason why Murder can't be himself, and it's because the community surrounding him will judge him. He will be called all kind of names. He will be outcast like Uncle Clifford is. You know, this is Uncle Clifford's daily life, and it's a problem. You know, this is what keeps men on the down low, because every time you see a man who is in relation or comfortable being around gay men, we question their sexuality. If he isn't as aggressive as we would like him to be, we question his masculinity and his sexuality. There is not one way to be a man. And if we were to allow people to be who they are without throwing those charges on them, guys like Lil Murder would be able to come out of the closet and not live down low lives. He would be able to be a successful rapper and still like men. You know, but that's not the society that we live in. So him and Uncle Clifford is on the down low, honey. When I tell you they low, they low. Oh, 2 words: spit lube. Okay, look, it's going down at the PANK. But it's good to see genuine things. You know, a lot of people like to say they're forcing the gay agenda on us. It's not the case, y'all. You realize there was a time where black people wasn't on TV either, and when we was playing maids and domestics. Everyone deserves to have a platform, and the gay community has been oppressed and suppressed for hundreds of years. It is just a matter of evolution that people will become more knowledgeable and accepting, and we will see more gay families, relationships, people in media. It's not an agenda, it's acceptance at the end of the day, and that's important in this society. Anyway, love the exploration of Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder's relationship. Besides that, there are a lot of different dancers with a lot of other issues. Keyshawn is being domestically abused, beat up, shit, not domestically abused, beat the fuck up by her white baby daddy. Okay, and the last night, which is murder night, Lil Murder performs and record execs come see him, and you know, it's just like a big to do, like a big party they promoted, and they get to fighting, and Diamond, who's the bouncer, who is fine as hell, I don't know his real name, I didn't get his real name, but yeah, I'm gonna put a picture up. Diamond has been watching Keyshawn, Mississippi is her dancer name, be abused by this guy the entire season, and it comes to a head and he and the guy are fighting, and Diamond is beating that ass, and y'all, it's just so deep. Shit like that is real. That really be what abused women go through. They not gonna let you hurt him no matter how much he hurt her. It's just a whole exploration. But overall, look, P-Valley is a hit. I encourage everyone to watch it, men and women. It's a good story. The story of the purchase of the casino land is all of that. The love story between Autumn and Andre is all that, especially because Andre is married, honey. In the last scene, it's just like his wife is there, and it ain't just about bidding on land, child. It's bidding on hearts and what's in the drawers. Anyway, the stories are very good. They're not dry, they're not basic, they're not predictable. There is not one thing that happened this entire season on P-Valley that I could have predicted. Everything was just like out of left field, and I love that, because I hate when shows become predictable. Give me something new. Okay, tell me what I don't know. Anyway, watch P-Valley. It comes on Starz. It's on the Starz app. If you got a Fire Stick, it's on there too. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Ciao.